Okay, y'all, so I first want to show you why I associate the constellation Orion with Goddess Hekate. I mean, first of all, she told me that it's her, so, and the figure, let me just show y'all this real quick. The figure of the constellation itself, let me pick a good one. Okay. I chose the smallest one. All right, well, whatever. I guess I'm just going to use this. But, so it's the figure of a person, and you see that they show it as this, usually. And it's a man. Orion from the mythology was a giant hunter, and that's when the Greek mythology got superimposed on the star constellations. But constellations are far much older than the Greek analysis and what stories they attach to the constellations. And the constellation Orion was something else before it was applied to the myth of Orion, okay? So, as Hecate explained it to me, this is the constellation that actually represented her in the sky. And let me go back to this. Instead of a man holding a club and a lion or a shield, sometimes it's a shield, sometimes it's a lion, we actually see that this is Goddess Hekate holding a torch and the crescent moon, okay? And what we have here, right here, I want y'all to look at these names of the Orion belt stars, these 3 stars here. These are their names. I believe in Arabic. Look at these names because that's important for discovering the ancient clues of what this constellation used to represent before they applied the myth of Orion to it. The Orion Nebula, that's another important key to this because the Orion Nebula, a nebula, you guys, is a place where in space where there's immense superheated gases that turn into stars. So basically, a nebula is a place where stars are born from, okay? A nebula is like a womb in space, all right? And look at its position in between these legs, all right? This is a female constellation, it's not a male. In the constellation Orion, or rather, I should say, when they apply the myth of Orion to this constellation, they'll tell you that this is Orion's sword. No, it's not. This is the womb of Hecate, all right? Now, these names, remember right here, of Orion's belt. Let me show y'all something. So, let me show y'all this. I'm literally looking this up as I'm recording it, so I've not been on this page yet. I had discovered all of this a couple years ago. Hekate first told me about it. So, one of the best known constellations in the sky, which carries great significance across many different cultures from Egypt to Greece and beyond. All right. The 3 stars of Orion's belt are pretty evenly spaced. Okay. The stars are known as the 3 Kings, the 3 Marys, Frigg's distaff, 3 Sisters, the weighing beam, and by many other names in different mythologies, from the Babylonians to Egyptians and Greeks. So calling it Constellation Orion is really just only using one interpretation, which is the Greek. I wanted y'all to find out the star name. Okay, yeah, here we go. One of the stars here, the name Al-Natak comes from the Arabic, which means the girdle. Okay, the girdle. Okay, the next one, Al-Nalam. The name Al-Nalam is derived from the Arabic, which means the string of pearls. Okay, the string of pearls. And Mintaka is derived from the Arabic, which means the belt. Okay. So there's a lot of other stars which I'm not going to get into, but y'all can look it up and do your own research. By all means, you should anyways, regardless of what I'm telling you. But pretty much all of the stars in this constellation have a feminine, either the meaning of the name or what that star represented to ancient people. The string of pearls, okay, the girdle. These are feminine things, all right? So the constellation is Hecate, all right? The Orion Nebula. Where was that at? Did I pass it again? Okay. Oh, another thing. The Mayans. It's not in this page. Okay. The Mayans called the lower part of the Orion's belt as the 3 Hearthstones of creation. Okay. Like I said, I'm looking this all up as I'm recording it, so this is not pre-planned. As far as what links I'm going to be showing y'all. Basically, they called it the 3 Hearthstones of creation, all right? And they said that the Orion Nebula was a fire burning between the 3 stones, which is this triangle of stars here. Okay. Okay, so It's the three hearthstones of creation, according to the Mayan mythology. And the Orion Nebula is the place where gods are born from. All right. Once again, y'all can look this up on your own because this is by no means an in-depth video on this. But I wanted to include this at the beginning of this full moon reading because leading into the full moon reading because I need y'all to understand why I associate this constellation with Goddess Hekate. She's holding her torch, her crescent moon, and this is a womb, okay? She's wearing a girdle, a belt of pearls, all right? So this is a pretty image because it shows the infrared of these gases. But I just wanted y'all to know that, okay? There's plenty other understandings of the different constellations besides just the Greek mythology that we know in the West, the zodiac that we know in the West. You can look up Vedic astrology, which is y'all forgive me if I'm saying the wrong word, but the Hindu version of the zodiac. Okay. And there's different versions of the zodiac other than just the Greek one. Okay. So y'all can look into that. But it's just very intriguing and interesting to me. And I never did this until Hecate told me that that constellation was her. And it was just, when I went to look up the information about it, I was just amazed by what I did find, as always. I just thought this was interesting because this is some kind of ancient artifact that was found in Ecuador. And on the bottom of it, it has something similar to parts of the constellation Orion. And it's the fucking pyramid with the all-seeing eye. So that's just another thing because there's this person on YouTube when Hecate told me that the constellation represented her, and I did my research. There was a person on YouTube named Danny Wilton. Y'all can look up his channel. He does a ton of videos about the Orion Nebula. Because another aspect to this is that this is representing the triangle with the eye in it. Okay. So that's just another aspect to this. The Eye of Providence. Okay. This could be what people call the Illuminati or whatever, but you also see this in the Vatican and in different Christian temples. It's the feminine power. All right. And there's like different Christian depictions of it as well. Okay. But anyway, which is kind of funny because usually Christianity portrays the symbol as evil, but it's in their churches and stuff. It's on the dollar that says "In God We Trust" on. So I just think that's kind of funny. The Eye of Providence, or the all-seeing eye of God, is a symbol showing an eye often surrounded by rays of light or a glory. the rays of light is called a glory, and usually enclosed by a triangle. It represents the eye of God watching over mankind, or divine providence. Well, Goddess Hekate is the goddess that works the will of God. Okay? So, once again, I'm recording this as I'm looking online, so this is new, but basically Hecate is the first creation of God, and she has all of God's power, and she makes sure that everything goes along according to God's will. And that's the same thing that they say of the Eye of Providence. Y'all can look all this up once again to verify it. Or you can just read this book, Hecate Sotera. Okay, I recommend this book highly. It definitely portrays everything of my views of the goddess Hecate. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to give y'all this little intro beginning to why I associate the constellation Orion with Goddess Hecate, because she told me to, and because when I did research into it, it was actually verified and made sense to me, okay? So, the powers of this constellation is the powers of Goddess Hecate, all right? This full moon, I will show y'all on my astrology app where the full moon falls in the constellations, okay? But this full moon does fall literally right above the constellation Orion, where I would consider where it's like Hecate's head if you were to superimpose her image over the constellation rather than just seeing the asterism of stars itself. So I'm going to be associating this full moon's energy with Goddess Hecate, with the constellation Orion, and it is just amazing to me that how it played out to where this dark moon, she had told me to do the to where this full moon, she had told me to do the dark moon ritual for her, and it was in the dark moon was in the constellation Ophiuchus. So y'all can go and watch this video for more in depth on that if you have not already watched it. Okay. And yeah, see, the moon was in Ophiuchus. And directly opposed to that in the sky, on the opposite side, we have the constellation Orion. So I just wanted to share that with y'all as a little intro to all of this. And go watch this video. And it's just amazing, all right? Now we will continue on with the tarot card reading and the intuitive guidance.